I'm James Dean, a librarian supporting students in computing, engineering and the built environment. This is a guide to making the References tab in Microsoft Word create references in the BCU Harvard style. You can't edit the Harvard referencing style in Word, so you just have to work with what there is. This guide will try and do these 4 things. I have a document here into which I want to insert some sources. The document in this case is the template for the knowledge-based article used in one of the first year computing modules. I shall include the most common sources for CB students. First of all, we go to the References tab and we're going to select Harvard as the style. You can include a placeholder as a marker in the text. You may wish to come back later. In this particular case, we're going to insert a citation and add a new source. The first piece of evidence we're going to use is a document from a website. So you select the type of source that you are using. So the first one is this document from the IoT Security Foundation. Was published in 2018. There's a copyright statement down here which says when it was written. We're going to choose the corporate author. In this case, we have an organization, so this is the IoT Security Foundation. And I'm going to we're going to insert the title. Just make sure that all the words in the title are capitalized. Include the year of the publication and then the date of accessed. And I'm going to go back and copy the URL and also include that information in the source details. Once I've done that, you can see that the citation has been included in our document. If I wanted to change that again, you could edit the source. The second piece of evidence I'm taking from is from a website. It's from the RFID journal. I'm going to add a new source in that location. So I'm sticking with the document from a website. This particular one has an author, which isn't an organization. It's written by Kevin Ashton in 2009. So I'm going to copy the title of this article. I'm going back to my source and I'm going to put in the author's surname in that particular style, the surname, comma, space, initial, full stop. That's the style that we're looking for. I've added the title of the web page. I've added the date that it was published. I'm also adding the day and the month that it was published. And I'm also adding the date that I accessed this particular document. And then I'm going to go back and just copy the URL and pop that into the document. So I've included that information. I can show all the bibliography fields because I may want to add some extra information. So I might want to add the name of the website here. And I'm pressing OK. So I'm going to repeat this for all of the sources that I include. So in this particular case, let's have the third piece of evidence is the journal article. I insert the citation. The type of source is journal article. The journal article we're looking for is from Science Direct. Science Direct has this option, as do many other databases, that gives you a few clues as to citation. You can export the citation to a text. It'll open up in Notepad. So first of all, I'll just copy the title. So for all of the sources, you have to manually enter the information. That's the title. I'll go back to the journal name. I'll just copy the authors. These are the authors. Often the journal article has many authors, but we need to put them in the same. We need to put them in a particular style. I'll come back to that after I've just done the other bibliographic details. This is the journal name, Future Generation Computer Systems. Years 2013, volume and issue, and the page numbers. I forgot the page numbers. Let's just copy that. And we'll just paste that back into this source. So I've got all the information that I actually need. We don't need any punctuation, so I'll just take that comma out of there, out of the journal name. We can include some more bibliographic details. If I wanted to include the DOI in this, I could do so. As we're here, we'll just try and copy that. Put that back into the DOI, okay. And then with the authors, they need to be, because we have multiple authors, they need to be separated by a semicolon. So I'm taking out their first names and I'm putting it in the style of surname, comma, space, initial, full stop, semicolon. Hope you can see that on the screen. So it's surname, comma, space, and then the initial of the first name and a full stop, and they all separated by a semicolon. So that's the format that authors need to be in, so that the information then appears correct in the reference list. So once I'm happy with that, I've got all the other details, we'll press OK. And you can see the information is entered with the first name, first author, and then et al. So that's the correct citation style. I'll just do another article whilst I'm here. This one is also from Science Direct, so the same process. We use cite. We can export the citation to text. You'll notice there are other options to export it to other reference management software. And then, as before, I'm just going to copy all the information into the source. So with the title, I need to make sure that I've capitalized the words in the first part of the title, and then with the journal title, with the journal name, it's the journal name needs to be in capitals. I'll just get the right one. So the journal name, the name of the journal, they need to be in capitals. But with the article title, it's only we don't need to capitalize. We only need to capitalize internet and things in this particular case. I don't need a capital V there. The system isn't going to change. Is reliant upon you making sure the capitalization is correct. So I've got the same details. I've got the volume and issue. I've got the year. I've got the journal title, and I've got the title of the article and the authors. Okay. And because I've got two notepads open, I've probably got myself slightly confused, but never mind. You get the idea. I'll just adjust these author surnames. We'll keep that as D. Pellegrini. And so it's this surname, comma, space, and then the initial, and they're all separated by a semicolon. Lovely. If you click on the edit button, you can see that that's the way that they've been added. That's the format that's required. So in the text, I've got this citation in the text. Now, if I wanted to edit that a little bit, there is a drop down where I can convert the citation to a static text, and then I can remove the brackets which have crept in there, and I can separate these two with a semicolon. I just probably need to make sure that where I've got two citations supporting my argument, that they're in alphabetical order, which they are. So the last two I'm going to show you. One is for a book. This is adding a new source, so I choose book as the source. The book details I'm taking from the library catalogue. This is the item that I'm referring to. So I've got the information that I've written about from this particular book here. So I can then copy the title, Securing the Internet of Things. And I can pop that in the title. So with the book title, just make sure that you'd want to make sure that all the words are capitalized. I'm not sure I've done that here. I'll have to type it in. For some reason, it's not playing ball. So you're in the Internet of Things. Really, I should make that capital I and capital T. Never mind. That's what we should do. I can always change it later on by converting things to a static text. I've got the year. I've got the place that it was published. It was published in Cambridge, Massachusetts, with the American states are usually given a two-letter abbreviation in capitals. Publisher is Singris. The authors were more than that. I've just got to connect to the full text of it. If I connect to the full text, I'll just refresh that page. This is the item. I've got the authors up there, but there is also an option to cite the book. If I chose the Harvard option here, I could just copy the three author names from there. Just close that, go back to the source, so my authors are there. As before, I've got to make sure that the names are separated with a semicolon. It's fine, remove that ampersand. You've got options to add the edition if I wanted to, or if it wasn't the first edition, you could put the edition statement in there, and there you can see the information has gone in there. The last source is where I've taken this quote from. With a quote, you need to include the page numbers. So in this particular case, we'll insert a citation and add a new source. So this is a book section, a chapter from a book. The book itself is, this is the book that I've taken the information from. It's edited by those three people on the screen. I'll just connect to it. I scroll down to the chapter. So the quote is from chapter 2, which is on the principle of accountability, challenges for smart homes and cybersecurity. That's the title of the book, of the chapter. It's written by other people, by Urquhart and Chen. So if I go back here, book section is the type of source. This is the title of the chapter. It's in a book which is edited by these three here. So I've got the just copy the book title, Privacy by Design for the Internet of Things. I'll put that in there. The authors of the chapter are Urquhart and Chen. I'll just copy that, their details from there. Just have to amend this a little bit again, so that it's in the surname, comma, space, first name, full stop. the initial of the first name and then the full stop, separated by a semicolon. I could just check the edit just to see that I've got that right. Lovely. It was published in a particular year, which I forget. I'm getting the information also from a number of sources. This was 2021. That's the publisher, IET, Institution of Engineering and Technology. Just pop that in the publisher. Published in Stevenage. I've got the year, and then I also need the page numbers for this particular chapter. I also need the editors, those 3 people there who edited this particular book. So I'm just going to, I could copy them or I could just type them into the details. So you could type in one name here. That's lovely. Surname, comma, space, initial, full stop. Then I can press edit. I can then add the name here. It'll actually do it for me. So I can just put the last name and the first name there with a dot. So that's how you could also add surnames of books or journal articles. Okay, lovely. If I get that wrong, I could always go back to the, it's Richard is his first name. So I can just go back there and I can edit that source. There we are, and I can change that to an E. Not necessarily there, there's no option to edit it there. I can just edit it there in that particular box there. I'll put it back to R. Right, okay. So I've now, I can obviously show all the bibliography fields if there was any other details that I needed to add. And you can see it's added Urquhart and Chen 2021. Now actually I just want to edit that citation a little bit. I can click on that and edit the citation. So I can add the page number was 34, so I can add a page number, but it puts it in that style, and there's nothing I can do about that. That's how Word handles it. So if I edit this, if I convert the citation to text, I can then just remove the ampersand, and then I can put the colon after the year, and then leave it with a page number. So that's the style we're looking for. So once we've added the sources, you can then go back at the end. It's the last step of the process. You can insert a bibliography using these references. So we insert the bibliography in this reference style. It will put the information in. First of all, we're just going to change that so it's left justified. I can convert the bibliography to a static text, and then I can, if I can work that, I can highlight that, and I can left justify that. So you're going to use the CB short guide as a quick check as to what the actual requirements are for these sources. But there are a number of things you've got to do. One is that for all the sources, you need to include include brackets around the year and remove the full stop after the right bracket. As you've just seen me do, you delete the word online in documents from web pages. I'm just including a tab so that it indents the second and or further lines for each of the articles. So what I'm doing here, I'm just making sure that the year is in brackets, and I'm removing the full stop. I'm indenting, making sure that the first line with the creators, the authors, stands out. So I'm indenting the second line and any other subsequent lines. And I'm removing the word online in documents from web pages. remove the page, the carriage returns that have been put in. And then in the authors, I'm also removing the ampersand and that plus the ampersand symbol, which is above the 7 on the keyboard, and replacing it with the word and. And then, if I do all that, we should then be in the right format. So Word is not the reference management software of choice for researchers. Researchers will use software which include plugins for both for word processing software for both PC and Mac. EndNote is the software supported by IT. Mendeley and Zotero are other options that you can use. JabRef is the one that is used with LaTeX documents if you happen to be using that. So as you can see, I'm replacing all of those. I'm just changing the year and so on, and we should then be in business. So support is available from the Centre for Academic Success. You can also ask the library's 24/7 chat service if you have any queries. So once I've done this last one, we should be in line, and we should then, there we are. So that's your list of references. So I've got my sources and a list of references. Just make sure that you save your work. Thanks very much indeed for listening, and good luck with your referencing.